welcome back to the Rugby Connection podcast. As always, for the fans, by the fans. Another week, we're getting closer to that European rugby. But again, this week we've had Premiership, we've had URC, plenty of that to cover. But unfortunately, before we get onto that, obviously last week we had the very sad news about Doddy Weir. This week we've had some more unfortunate news. Over in South Africa now concerning the Springbok winger, the Bulls winger, the former Sharks winger, Spoon Nkosi. He's gone missing, and apparently he's been missing for 3 weeks. He hasn't reported to Bulls HQ, hasn't reported for training. His family haven't heard from him. I think the last contact they had with him was when he didn't qualify for the SAA team, and that's the last thing that anyone saw of him. And obviously, if you're watching from South Africa, I know because it's the reason that my family moved over to England and Wales. It's a dangerous place. Bad things happen. So just from the Rugby Connection podcast, me and Murray, wishing him all the best. We hope he's safe. Thoughts are with his family and his friends, and hope it all gets resolved soon, because it's just another awful situation, which seems to be all too common in rugby at the moment, unfortunately.
This season sucks.
Worcester
Warriors went down the pan, don't exist. Wasps went down the pan, don't exist for the time being. Doddy Weir passed away. Nkosi's missing. Wayne Pivac might be getting sacked. Eddie Jones might be getting sacked. Something positive, please.
We need something positive. But yeah, like I said, thoughts with his friends and family. Hope they find him soon.
Yeah.
But we'll get on to the more positive end of the podcast now. We'll get talking about the rugby games that were played. Shall we start, as it's sort of fresh and what everyone's excited for? Do you want to start with a look at the European games next week?
Oh, we're starting with predictions this week.
I think we should start with predictions this week.
It really is the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh, it's absolutely lovely. And for me, it's the first time that I'm properly invested in European rugby, because obviously the South African franchises are there and we're looking to have strong performances.
Shall we start with the challenge? Shall we start with the Challenge Cup?
Yeah, let's start with the Challenge Cup. So the first fixture, Challenge Cup. Now, with the top 14 teams, I haven't watched much top 14, so I don't really know what to expect from a lot of them. But this first one, from what I know, could be a bit of a peach. Stade Francais versus Benetton.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game from a neutral point. Because Benetton, on their day, play nice rugby.
Can play good rugby.
Stade Francais, maybe not always get the results, but they always play nice rugby for the most part as well. But it's in Paris, and I'm back in the team with the most controversial kits every season.
I love their kits.
I'm going to Stade Francais I'm going to go by 8. I don't know.
Stade Francais by 8. I don't know. I really want to back Benetton. I am going to back Benetton just for the fucks of it. I'm going to say Benetton by 5 points. I like Italy, and it's that URC allegiance. Down with the top 14, I say. Anyway, the next one got a top 14 Premiership clash. Perpignan versus Bristol Bears.
No, I'm saying should, but Bristol should
win.
Run away with it. They should run away with it. But I'm still going to back the Bears, I think. Bristol by 10.
Bristol by 10 points.
I don't know how Perpignan's doing. They've never been a big hit.
I've never watched a Perpignan game. Never.
Well, you're going to next week, so there you go.
So I'm going to back Bristol. I'll say Bristol by 12 points. I don't really know what to expect. Now, this next one, however, we do know what to expect, because we've already seen it this year. We saw it last weekend. Yes. Lions versus Dragons, a URC only sort of fixture.
Yes.
It's also in South Africa again.
Yes, the European Challenge Cup is in South Africa.
Is in South Africa, a very well-known European country.
Lions?
It's got to be the Lions again. And the Lions and the Dragons are playing each other 3 times this year. They've had their fixture in the URC, and they've got their 2 in the Challenge Cup.
It's brilliant.
I feel so sorry for the Dragons, because the Lions are going to win again.
You know what?
They're looking on good form at the moment and at home.
All I'm saying is, Dragons, prove us wrong.
Yeah, actually, you know, in one of these games, I can see the Dragons winning at home.
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm going to say Lions by. I'll give it to them by 10 points.
Go Lions by 12.
Okay. Similar then.
Yeah.
Next one. This is going to be an interesting one. Bath versus Glasgow. Who are you backing, Murray? Huh?
What?
Bath versus Glasgow.
You missed one.
No, I haven't. Lions versus Dragons. Bath versus Glasgow.
They've put that in the stupid. They've put a 2 o'clock kickoff ahead of a 1 o'clock kickoff on the internet. I apologise. Bath versus Glasgow.
Bath versus Glasgow.
Both teams are very up and down.
It's an up and down season for both teams.
Bath seem to be at full work again. So I'm going to go Bath in front of a full packed wreck in the centre of Bath. I think Bath will take it by 5.
Yeah, I'd like to see Bath win it. I've got no allegiances to Glasgow, so I mean I've got no allegiances to both teams, but I'd like to see Bath win it. I'm going to say Bath by 7.
I was just going to say, and what's your allegiance to Bath? Apart from everyone has one in their house.
Exactly. Although I prefer showers, so there we go. It's even, yeah. Now this one is going to be a sweet one because,
sorry,
for me anyway, because we haven't seen the Cheetahs play in a major competition since the Pro 14. We have, I can't even pronounce this. I know them as POW.
Wait, I was going to say, do you say POW or PO? Because I've said both, and apparently they're both wrong.
I say POW.
POW. We'll go for POW. I'm in untapped territory with this because we don't cover French rugby.
And we don't cover the Cheetahs. We don't know what to expect from these two games. The only thing that I know is from watching the Cheetahs in the Curry Cup, and I assume it's going to be the same sort of squad because the Cheetahs don't play anything else other than the Curry Cup. So based on that, and I know Power sort of a bit further down in the top 14 table, I'm going to say the Cheetahs, and I'm going to be quite confident with it and say the Cheetahs by 15 points.
I'll say Cheetahs by 14, just to be different. But yeah, because again, we're not lying here. I haven't got a clue.
We haven't got a clue. Although I do have full coverage of top 14 now, so I might have a sneaky peek at a top 14 game every now and again.
Yeah, but even
in fact, there's one going on right now. There's Racing versus Toulon at the moment.
Yeah, but they're big teams. That's always the ones on television.
Yeah. Oh no, I've got what's it called? Via Play.
Yeah, I've got that. That's
full coverage of the top 14 as well. Anyways, on to the next game. Damn Cardiff versus, again, how do you pronounce Brive?
Brive, yeah.
Brive. Cardiff versus Brive.
Cardiff. Easy. Bye. And I'm not trying to underestimate anyone here because anything could happen on the day. Cardiff by at least 25.
Yeah.
Brive are shit.
I hate to say it, but I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to say Cardiff 35-0.
Flashbacks for you there.
Oh. Anyways, this is going to be a fun one. Connacht versus Newcastle Falcons.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
It's going to be these boys right here.
Yes, you've got to back the boys in green because
Matt Hansen,
Byron Ralston. We've not had a Newcastle player on, so 2's better than nothing.
Absolutely. But yeah, I'm going to say Connacht by a respectable 12 points.
I'll go Connacht by 9.
Okay. This one is a bit unfair. This next one.
Harsh. That's harsh.
Zebre versus Toulon.
Toulon by 20.
I'm going to say Toulon by 50.
50?
I'm going to say Toulon by 50.
Holy
it's
shit.
Harsh, but it's what I'm saying.
Okay. And the final game. Cup's opening round.
Scarlets versus Bayonne.
Bayonne. Lovely accent there. I love that.
Thank you very much. I had a bit of a French flair.
I
I really want Scarlets to win this one.
Wait a minute. Can Bayonne defend? Because if Bayonne can defend, the Scarlets are buggered.
It's a ruined. Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna say
just to play it safe, I'll go Scarlets by 6.
I'm gonna say the Scarlets, the Llanelli Massive. I'm gonna say Scarlets by 10 points.
Fair. That's again. I don't know because we don't watch. I
don't care.
I don't care, but we have to.
We're going to backtrack now, back to the Friday, because now we're talking about the big one, the European Champions Cup. It's not really European anymore. It's just the Heineken Champions Cup.
Yeah.
London Irish versus Montpellier. This is going to be a hell of a game.
I'd love to see London Irish do it.
I'd love to as well, but they're not going to, are they?
I'm going to say no, but we're going to praise them later on in the show. So I'm going to say Montpellier win this one, but we will get back to London Irish. Montpellier by 5. I don't think they're going to get the full convince that they won.
Yeah, I'll give it to Montpellier by 6 points then. Couple of penalties.
That's right. You and Harp have to play nice for this next game.
Oh no, the next one, I think you've got a bit of the Google suggestion. I've got Racing versus Leinster.
I'm sorry if I'm going off on a tangent here. The EPCR website, right?
You're doing you a dirty.
It says London Irish versus Montpellier Friday, 8 o'clock kickoff. Then we're going to Saturdays, and it has the next one. I'm not telling you now. At 3 o'clock, and then it has a 2 o'clock. Then it has a 4:15. Just put them in order.
It's interesting. But anyway, the next one I've got, according to my flash score, is Racing 92 versus Leinster.
I am backing Racing all the way.
I'm not going to back Leinster, not at all. I'm backing Racing as well.
It's going to be tight. It's a proper Clash of Titans clash.
It's going to be a good game.
Finn.
King Finn versus King Sexton. Or is Sexton still injured?
I don't know, but Finn's Finn, and it's in Paris.
Finn. Yeah, I'm going to say Racing. It's going to be such a close game, so I'm going to give it Racing by 3.
For the more wider audience, not the die-hard top 14 fans, we get to see the return of Christian Wade, who has been absolute tearing it. So I've heard. So I'm going to go Racing by 10.
10?
Beat Leinster by double digits. Go for it.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Now, you were right. On this next one, me and Harv are going to have to behave. Because it's Sharks versus Quins. Not the Sale Sharks. It's the Chelsea Sharks, my Sharks, versus the Harlequins. If you don't know, Harvey's team of choice.
Even though I don't think it's his closest team. I can't remember if that's true.
I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember if Quins are actually his.
Was it not Wasps his closest team?
No. He does not. He definitely doesn't.
Yeah, he hated Wasps. I say hated. Bless them. R.I.P.
I want to say Irish was actually his closest, but I could be wrong.
So he's basically a glory hunter. Anyways, yeah. Chelsea Sharks versus Harlequins. This game is in South Africa. It's in Durban. It's in the Shark Tank. We're gonna be playing. Listen, I'm not gonna look back at the 35-0 last week against Cardiff, because we are gonna be playing our big boys. We're talking about Etzebeth. We're talking about Khaleesi, Ox, Bongi, Umbanambi, Blackimapimpi, all of them. So I'm gonna say Sharkies by 15 points.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. I always want to back Quins.
No.
Because I know what they do. And just from a neutral point, I don't care about Sharks or Quins. I'm not a fan for either. I like both teams. But I like it when it gets to like the 65th minute and they're like 30 points down and they go, hold my beer because we're going for the win. And they somehow do it. Or get beat by a point. It's always that one. So I'm going to say
we beat them.
I'm going to say Sharks by 1, but there's going to be about 70 points scored in this game.
I'll take that, and to be honest, I'll enjoy that.
So
As long as I can have the Wood over Harvey, I'll be happy.
my times are wrong again, so I'll let you just say the times.
Another good one, I reckon. Clermont versus Stormers.
We did get it right. All right, cool. Clermont. It's in the Stade Michelin. It is like the pinnacle of European rugby to go to. They're hell loud, and I know I'm wearing a Stormers jersey because I don't own a Clermont top. There's the truth.
I do.
Is it a nice one though, or is it just the boring?
It's the emerald green one with the leaf pattern.
Oh, okay.
It's their third jersey.
No, it's just because the recent ones are literally just
they're not the best.
With a little small crest up here.
Yeah.
Clermont. I'm going to go Clermont by 4. So it could be tight. It's going to be very physical, but Clermont at home on a European night.
Back the URC champions. Back my South African brothers. I'm going to say Stormers by 2 points.
Fair. It's going to be good though.
It's going to be good. Next one.
Yes.
Again, one team that I know how they play, one team that I don't know how they play, so I don't know what to expect. Gloucester versus Bordeaux.
See, I do know how Bordeaux played just because of how well they did in the knockout and like the advanced stages of the last few Champions Cups. So like,
Gloucester are at home. Gloucester are at home.
Gloucester are at home, and Gloucester probably will have their big guns back fully. I'm going to go Bordeaux by 5. It's going to be very tight, but I think Mathieu Jalabert is going to have something up his sleeve.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm going to give it to Gloucester because they got a pretty big win this week. So I'm going to stick with recent results. I'll say Gloucester by 6 points.
Fair. Yeah.
This next one, from what I know, is set up to be a peach of a game. Bulls versus Lyon.
Bulls versus last year's Challenge Cup winners.
Winners, yeah.
I've got to back the Challenge Cup winners. I'm sorry.
No. It's not happening. Not in Pretoria. It's not happening in Pretoria.
We don't know. No French sides went there yet.
That's true. That is also true. We've never seen a French side go to South Africa. But very few people win in Pretoria, and I don't think a bunch of French lads are going to do that. So I'm going to say Bulls by 16 points.
Oh my God.
The Bulls are on form at the moment, and that Kirtley Aronson, Kane and Moody combo at 15 and 14 is disgusting, and that's all I have to say.
You're forgetting about one man for Lyon. The Georgian wonder kid, David Ninayashvili.
No. He's not. I'm sorry. No, he's not going to do anything.
He is.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening in Pretoria. It's not happening.
I'm going to go Lyon by 3.
Bulls by 16. Anyways.
Make it interesting.
La Rochelle versus Northampton Saints. It's going to be La Rochelle.
Defending champions.
Defending champions. And what a win it was last week, toppling Leinster.
I'm gonna go La Rochelle by 17, I think. At home. Opening night, the champions want to keep their crown. Northampton have been very hit and miss this season. Yeah.
I'm gonna say La Rochelle by 12.
Right.
Gregory Eldry to have an absolute blinder.
That's easy money, that though.
He's the only notable player that I remember from La Rochelle. So that's
Teddy Thomas signed for them this season.
Teddy Thomas signed for them, has he? There we are. La Rochelle. Next one. Cast versus the Chiefs, the Exeter Chiefs. I'm going to back your Chiefs.
Okay.
I'm going to back your Chiefs. I don't know why. Mainly because I don't know anything about any top 14 team.
So
Chiefs by 10 points.
Cast are like the most interesting team in this one. So they were top 14 runner-up last season. But I spoke to a lovely old man, we'll get into that shortly, about their form this season, and they're sitting like in the bottom 3 of the top 14. So I'm going to back your team, always.
Always.
I'm going to say Chiefs by 14.
Chiefs by 14. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Need a Chiefs win. It's been a while.
I mean, this is going to be a big week for me, purely because I'm going to be seeing a lot of these teams play for the first time. I've seen the big boys like Toulon, Toulouse, La Rochelle, Racing all play. I've not really seen many of these littler teams play, so it'll be interesting.
Just sit back and enjoy it. That's all I can tell you.
But what will be interesting is the next fixture, Sale Sharks versus Ulster.
Oh, both teams are doing really well.
I'm going to stick with one rule, which is down with Ulster. And I'm going to say the Sharks by 12 points.
It's at Salford, so Sale Sharks at home. I'm gonna go Sharks by 6. I don't know why. Ulster could easily. Actually, there's a reason, because Ulster don't hold leads very well. But we'll get into
and also they don't do well in these big high pressure games either, as we saw this week and last URC. So yeah, Sale Sharks. This next one's gonna be interesting because it's a team that I know who are on the rise, Munster, sort of playing a bit better now, versus Toulouse.
Toulouse, 5-time European champions.
Yeah. I don't think Munster have that in the tank.
Anja Kupawotso, the new signing.
Of course, they got Kupawotso, haven't they? I forgot about that.
Kupawotso at fullback, or Thomas Ramos at fullback. Take your pick.
It's got to be Kupawotso. I feel like they'll probably have Ramos just.
They've now got Jack Willis, the former Wasps player, there for the end of the season, and he's already scored.
Yeah, it's looking pretty ominous for Munster.
Also, revenge is a dish best served sweet, so I'm going for some French flair because bugger Munster.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Anton Dupont to lead his red and black army to a 12-point victory over the Munster boys.
13, just to, I don't know. Yeah. We can never have the same score here at RCP, so you have to go up one or down one or go ludicrous.
No, Murray. The next fixture is an interesting one for you.
No, we're fucking coming for them.
It's Saracens versus Edinburgh. Now, I would love to see a Darcy Graham, Boffelli masterclass and just absolutely tear through Owen Farrell and his mates.
There's a butt coming, isn't there?
Can't see it happening.
You're a prick.
No, you've got to sort of understand where I'm coming from right now. Edinburgh have dropped the last 2 games, one at home against Munster, and to go then and play Saracens away, who haven't lost a game and have looked pretty damn convincing all Premiership.
They're going to have to lose one game eventually.
It's not going to be Edinburgh.
Fucking it.
If Edinburgh win, the pints are on me when I come down for the Sharks Edinburgh game.
That's fine.
I really want to see Edinburgh win, but I think Sarri's going to take it by 8 points.
If there was any other game where I had to hammer home back your team, it's this one. I don't like
the ultimate boogeyman, the ultimate bad guy.
If you followed me on TikTok or Instagram for long enough, you know I don't do Saracens. Don't like them. I don't own a Saracen top. I have all the Prem teams, bar one, and it's Saracens.
You got to get one just to complete the collection, right?
Probably, but I'm not buying it. Somebody has to gift me that. I'm spending money on Saracens stuff.
Buy a Sarries jersey for your birthday.
Thanks, man. Love it. No, but Edinburgh, they're going to be pissed off because of what happened at the weekend. But again, we'll get back into that shortly. A few of the big names were arrested. Some of them did play, but Hamish Watson will be back, most likely. Buffelli will be back. Dave Cherry might be back, depending on his injury. Sam Skinner is on a return. He's now not in the mood, so
we talk about Sarries being a stacked team. Edinburgh are a pretty stacked team at their full strength as well. So don't get me wrong, it's going to be a hell of a fixture.
I mean, head-to-head clashes alone. You've got Schumann versus Marco Vanapola. You've got Hamish Watson versus Ben Arrow. You've got Max Maylands versus Darcy Graham or Duhan Carver. You've got Alex Good versus Buffelli. And guess what?
Know, man.
We're the team that wear fucking orange and blue, not this.
You know what this really feels like? It feels like Scotland versus England. Because I feel like Saracens are the epitome, are like the England of club rugby. Everybody hates them. Everybody hates to play them. Everybody wants to beat them. And I mean, Edinburgh are basically Scotland with Emiliano Buffelli.
The way it's going, yeah. But shit, wrong way.
Oh, that's a beautiful jersey.
150 years for reasons. And we're going to beat them again. Last time we were at the Stone Axe, we beat them. And it wasn't even our strongest team. Imagine what we're going to do when we go full whack. Edinburgh all day, every day, twice on Sunday, and it's on Sunday. So there you go.
There we go. Right. The last one that we've got here.
Yes.
Ospreys versus Leicester Tigers.
Proper old school battle, that. I like it.
Proper old school. It is in Wales, so the Ospreys do have the home advantage.
And?
I don't know, man.
I don't know why I said that like that.
And?
Your point being? I'm going to go Ospreys, just for that good feel factor, because Leicester, yes, our Premiership champions right now, haven't been nearly as good this season.
Yeah, haven't really been showing it this season.
And away from Welford Road, they've been even worse. So yeah. I'm going to back the Ospreys. I'm going to go Ospreys by. I'm trying to think of a number I haven't picked yet. 8.
100.
Fucking steady on.
No, I'll say the Ospreys. It's going to be a really, really close game. I think that home advantage, that Welsh crowd, is going to act as that 16th player. So I'm going to say Ospreys. I'm just going to say by 2 points. I feel like it's going to be a close game. Maybe not that close. But yeah. But anyways.
We're going to talk about the rugby that did happen.
Let's talk about the rugby that did happen. Obviously, we want to cover that first because it is the sort of, it's what we're excited for. But we will go back in time to this week's Friday. Should we start with the Premiership? Because we had Bath versus Harlequins. Now, this was a pretty tight game. Thought Bath were going to pull another win. What were they? They were on 3 in a row. This would have been their 4th. They were damn close to it. And it ended up being Bath 13, Harlequins 19. So, a fairly tight fixture there. On the Saturday, we had London Irish putting on, a performance against Newcastle Falcons, 39-17, really flashy stuff, nice rugby. We expected this game to be close, but London Irish bossed it. After that, we had Gloucester versus Saints. We didn't expect this. Gloucester put Saints to the sword a bit. Again, showed some class, 34-19. Yeah. This next one, Bristol, the serial underperformers of this season versus last season's champions, 26-26 draw.
We don't do draws in Rugby Connection. We always boo them.
Exactly.
But we're going to... I don't want to talk about the Bath Quins game, purely because, yes, it was close, but not much happened apart from Joe Marler's exquisite post-match
interview at the end was perfect.
Just like, oh yeah, it's rigged because there's better players, but
we want the semi. We want the semi.
We want the semi, the home semi. He hammered that home. Like, he was really up for that. Pardon my puns there.
Yeah, he's so funny, man.
We love Joe Marlon. But I'd like to talk about the London Irish Newcastle game, and not even just because of what went on the field. Just a very special occasion for two of our own exiles. Funny like that. Captain Matt Rogerson led the team out on his 100th appearance. But the big man, one of our most recent guests, Ollie Hoskins, 150 appearances for the exiles.
Amazing. It's an absolute milestone to get a century of caps, then to get a century and a half of caps. Madness.
Madness. I mean, they took a picture together and put it on the socials, and Ollie put like 250 great games together. I'm like, that's insane.
It is insane. 250 games of rugby together.
Well, not really.
Well, not together, but put together.
Put together.
Yeah.
For two people. That's insane.
That's more caps than I imagine some teams have in total if you add up all their players.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
I'm not far off it.
No. But, a pretty good game. We had, London Irish starting relatively quickly on 10 minutes. Newcastle Falcons didn't back down, though. They showed a pretty good showing of themselves. Mateo Carreras, that Argentinian flyer, getting the try on 15.
Yeah, it was good. I loved it. More to the point, just going back to us congratulating our boys on getting the appearances. A very famous London Irish player liked our post. We've not had him on, but I kind of want to know because he knows who we are.
Got to get him on.
Danilo Fischetti. It comes up who likes the post.
Reviewed.
Yeah, and it came up. I can't even remember his name because it's not Danilo Fischetti on Instagram. It's like something Medusa, but I had the verified tick. I was like, oh, who's that? And I clicked on it, and it's Danilo Fischetti. I was like,
hey, get him on. Get him on. He's
I don't speak Italian.
A massive fan.
I don't speak Italian.
I'll be a translator. I don't speak Italian, but
only so many Padovanis and Capuzzos I could shout.
Just shout Capuzzo at him the whole and he understands everything.
Yes. No, what a win for London Irish, and I'm glad to see them actually getting a big win because they deserve it. They're such a good.
They deserve it. They've been playing some great rugby. They've had some really close results. Just out of interest, let's look at the standings for the Premiership quickly.
Okay.
In the top spot, obviously, no prizes for guessing this one. Saracens with 43 points. Just behind them, I say just behind them, our Sale Sharks on only 32 points, so quite a fair bit behind. Harlequins on 30, Gloucester on 25, and that's your top four. So that's currently your qualifiers. Then we move down to the next bracket. We've got Leicester Tigers 24, Northampton Saints 24, Chiefs on 21, and Bath sneaking into 8th position after a rocky start. They're on 21 points. And then going down, we're not going to obviously count Wasps and Worcester, but we've got Falcons, Irish, and Bristol, bottom of the table.
Bristol, bottom of that. You would not have said that. This is halfway through the Premiership season.
And Bristol are at the bottom. Mad.
What goes on down there? Because you just read the teams or the players that they have. Randrandra returned this week. Piatow was on scoring. Magnus Bradbury, McGinty, Sheedy. Genji was back in the mix.
Yeah, we had Genge. Callum Sheedy, McGinty on the bench. What? They are just serial underperformers, aren't they, this season?
Is it a mentality thing? I said this last year about Bath. They have great players, but shit coaching staff. But I never said that Pat Lam was a shit coach.
Yeah.
So is it the other way around now? Have we got great management with crap mentality?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Now, Just checking. We don't have any Premiership next week.
No, so we've already done predictions for that.
So we'll go straight on to my absolute favourite, the URC.
The URC.
Interesting week. I thought it was a pretty good week for the URC. We'll start on the Friday, the first game. My Sharks getting somewhat redemption, 25-10 in the Shark Tank over the Ospreys. Much better performance. One man I want to point out, Cohen Bosch. You know, I'll say that. We'll get onto that a bit more later, but I just want to say it now, Cohen Bosch, and I'm going to leave it at that. Edinburgh versus Munster Murray, 38-17 at the Dam. Tough one.
So frustrating.
Very frustrating game.
We were 12-0 up in the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm not chucking excuses. I'm not blaming referees, although there was some questionable, but there always is questionable calls.
All right, Razzie Erasmus.
No,
Jeez.
but I know what happened, or I think I know what, or I like to think I know what happened.
Yeah.
Darcy Graham went down injured.
Yeah.
It looks like he's okay. He did manage to walk off, and he kind of walked around afterwards, so it's not hopefully as bad as it looked. Yeah. Christine, inside centre that started for Edinburgh, probably having the best game of his season so far. And he's a hard worker. He's a proper workhorse.
Yeah.
Was everywhere. Went off and failed his HIA, so he didn't come back. And it just seemed that we just went downhill from there.
Just slipped down from there, yeah.
But I'm going to look at the positives. And is that man that we keep mentioning, Darcy Graham, another interception.
He's an absolute demon, isn't he? He must be, you know, especially for, you know, a team would tend to feel comfortable if they're getting into good attacking flow. You know, you're passing the ball about, you're getting the ball wide, your hands are good, it's good flow in rugby. And then an absolute spanner in the works, Darcy Graham, if you float one pass too ambition, if you float one pass too flat, you know, with a player with his capabilities, and we saw it again, very, very dangerous player, and he must be an absolute nuisance for an attack to play against. And he's a nuisance to defend.
He is. I mean, it was a Joey Carberry pass he intercepted.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a...
No, it's not like being thrown by a lock or a prop or anything. You know, this is a fly-off pass. You know, we've said it before. He has to be maybe the best performing winger of this year.
I want to give a shout
looking at just pure statistics.
I'd like to give a shout out. I don't know if you know him or his page or anything. Bruce Aitchison. He's also known on social media as Happiness is Egg-Shaped.
Happiness is Egg-Shaped.
Yes, he does a lot of charity. Does a lot of charity work. Does his own podcast, so he's a bit of a rival for that. But overall, generally good guy. He happens to be the Edinburgh stadium announcer.
Ah,
right. The reason I'm saying this is because of how hyped he's hyped all the time. I wish I could be that hyped for every player, regardless who they are, for an Edinburgh team. Darcy scores. We're all jumping for joy because obviously. And Bruce shouts out, he's the best winger in Hawick. He's the best winger in the league. He's the best winger in the world. Number 14, Darcy
Graham.
And I'm like, I love that, and I wish he keeps it going because
100%.
But yeah, Darcy,
we love him.
Fantastic player. That's so fun to watch.
We'll move on to the next game.
Yes, sorry.
I feel like you had to get that out of your system.
I had to because I'm not having to go at you, Cam, because you don't do this, but a lot of people in my comments feel need to do this. So I do, for those that don't follow me on TikTok, I do like match day vlog things, whether it's an Edinburgh game or a Scotland game. If I'm at a game, I do a vlog on it, basically. People comment on those vlogs with the score. I know the score. I was at the game.
I was there.
I don't get what they're trying to do. Stop it. It's not fun.
Anyways,
Anyway, rugby. Sorry.
rugby. On to Saturday.
Yes.
Back in South Africa, Stormers versus Dragons, a closer game than I thought. But Dragons sort of pulled it back, 34-26. Manny Lebok possibly scoring the try of the tournament. Absolute beauty. I can't get over it. After that, we had a bit of a trouncing. Zebre versus Glasgow, 45-17 for the Scottish boys.
Can we get past the Zebre compete for game? The Dawn. It's died on its arse.
It is bad. We were all so hyped. We thought after those first two performances against Leinster and the Sharks at home, we thought, damn, and Benetton are playing. Benetton are still sort of keeping it up. They're winning a few games here and there. Zebre they just can't win. It doesn't matter how good they perform, they can't win. But anyways, we'll go on to another Italian fixture over to Connacht, being 38-19 winners over Benetton. That was a good game. I enjoyed that game. Also, mainly because Benetton playing in that away kit, absolute peach of a kit, beautiful, gorgeous.
Also, high praise to their head of recruitment at Benetton. Since teams have started to fold round the Prem, they've got
of course
Jacob Umanga, Marcus Watson, and Matteo Minozzi.
Yep.
What? How?
Stars.
Jacob Umanga had an England cap in the summer against USA.
Yeah.
Now he cannot get capped because he plays in Italy.
I remember that because they're saying it. They said he's had an England cap during the game. At the end, the commentator said he's had an England cap, and I was like, really?
Yeah. He was in Eddie Jones's big picture plan.
Anyway, that's what I have to say about Eddie Jones's big picture.
We'll get into him shortly.
Anyways, 38. Connacht getting a decent win. They're sitting pretty low down on the table, so it's nice seeing the boys in green win. Yeah. Now, this next one was somewhat satisfying and somewhat embarrassing for me because the Bulls absolutely trounced Cardiff, 45-9. Now, I was very happy to see the Bulls humble Cardiff and beat them after Cardiff were probably feeling all big and strong after their crushing defeat over my Sharks. But it also sort of, what's the word?
Triggered, probably. I don't know.
Triggered, no. It makes the embarrassment from last week worse for me because the fact that they got trounced by the Bulls, yet they beat us 35-0. Anyways, I'm going to go off on one. I'm going to maybe cry, so I'm not going to do that.
Go off one. You let me go off one, so...
No, I went off one last week, and I have a few good points to talk about the Sharks this week anyway. But before we get onto this, my game of the weekend...
Sorry, I can't stop laughing just because I don't care what team they are. If you bugger it that bad...
That's what I'm on about. Now, I wanted Ulster to win. Might have been the only time I ever root for Ulster because I wanted to see Leinster lose. I was like, these guys have not been beaten. Someone needs to beat them. If it has to be Ulster, so be it. Yeah. And it really looked that way. At the end of it, 38-29 seems, okay, it was a close game. Leinster, probably had the lead for the game and Ulster were, fighting quite well.
No.
No. Ulster had, and let me just check if I'm correct. Ulster had 3-7-7. They had 23-point lead?
Yeah.
Or 20-point lead?
And Leinster were a man down. They had a red card.
Leinster Cian Healy got red carded at 20 minutes. So they went into the sheds, Ulster having a pretty decent lead.
You know what happened there then, don't you? Leo Cullen lost his shit in the changing rooms.
Oh my God. Gary Ringrose. 1 point we can take away. Gary Ringrose, what a player. He sort of sparks the Leinster comeback. He gets 2 tries in the second.
Of course he does.
Nick Timoney and Hume get yellow carded. So Ulster lose 2 players within 3 minutes of each other. So their man advantage is gone. They're now a man down. And then Leinster just let go. I mean, Ringrose scores his second try. Ross Bryan, absolute brilliant kick in the whole game. Andrew Porter goes over. James Lowe goes over. And then in the end, Ulster get a sneak one back with Carter going over. But how would you? I know it's Leinster. I know it's Leinster, and if any team are going to come back and win it, it's Leinster. But how?
I don't know. There's so many times regardless of what team or league or who's involved on the matchday squad, there's so many bottle jobs I've seen, and you just sit and go, "How?" It's like Jeremy Clarkson's one, like, "How, in God's name?
How in God's name did you manage that?" I don't know.
There's no
That's
other
what
word.
Ulster are saying right now. I don't know. But anyway, I do want to just quickly go back to the Sharks game, because obviously I felt pretty strongly about our loss last week. All I want to say, I hinted to it, Kerwin Bosch, he's been out for a while. He's had his injuries. But my God, did he bring a new lease of life to the Sharks team. Now, listen, not the most convincing win over the Ospreys, 25-10, a 15-point win. I'll take it. I'm happy with it. But ultimately, seeing Kerwin Bosch pull the strings and seeing the Sharks play how I feel they can play, big improvement from last week. So I just want to say thank you. And also Neil Powell, obviously, you are now the acting head coach, our director of rugby, because, I mean, we sacked our last head coach. Whatever you've done in the week, Neil, it's worked. So thank you for that. And thank you, Kerwin, for playing well. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Fair enough. We have got some rugby news just to round off, because it's been a weird episode, because we've done predictions and there's
done predictions, then we've done results, then we've done predictions. It's been an odd one.
But that's what we like. We like being unique. Just some rugby news, and you can tell that if you don't get picked as an All Black straight away, that's it, finished. Because Peter Gus Suakula, who I think made his debut in the summer against Ireland,
yep,
he's head of Claremont. He's been heavily rumoured to be linking up with Claremont, as they've got a veteran number 8 in Fritz Lee, again another former All Black. He's aging, get a fresh one in. Yeah, Peter Gus, 6'4", 110 kilos at number 8.
Yeah,
and I don't get this. I still really agree with Hard's rule. Just let players play where the fuck they want.
I agree with that as well. I understand to a point where
I get if you're in France and you can't pick out 28 teams to play for, then you're not allowed. I get that. But, like, imagine if, we'll flip it. Imagine if Scotland or Italy did that rule, but you have to play in the country. So you get Edinburgh, Glasgow, or Zebra or Treviso, or Benetton, sorry. That's you. And if you want to play for the national team, that's your picks.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say for one, in South Africa, we'd be missing players. We'd be missing players like Jasper Wiese. We'd be missing players like Andre Pollard. We'd be missing players like Quagga Smith, Jesse Creel, Dialande. So many big talents that we'd be missing. So, I mean, listen, players should go where the money's at. At the end of the day, you play for what team you want to play for. And then when it comes to the international window, now I will say I feel like teams should be more lenient on the international window, because as we saw with England and South Africa and Wales and Australia, some players were held back because they were outside the international window. Just whatever is in their contract, just let them go. Just let them go play for their team. Let them go play for their country.
I think there was one a few years ago, which is why I really don't like it. This whole, it's outside the window so they can't play. And I think it was when Finn Russell got sent back to Racing, picked up a head knock, failed the HIA, couldn't play for Scotland because the Racing game was on the Sunday, Scotland game was on the Saturday. So it was outside. And I'm like, that's stupid because you can't talk about player welfare in one breath and then say, like, there's a gap in the Six Nations. You have to go back to your club and play. Shut up.
What annoyed me about the South African-England fixture is, obviously England had all their players because the Premiership will release the English national players to the national team. However, South Africa, why couldn't we have Andre Esterhuizen then? Why couldn't we have Jasper Wiese then? Why?
Because they're English-based.
Exactly. But
it's a stupid rule that makes no sense.
Like, you're letting a lot of Premiership big guns go and play in this fixture. Why not just give South Africa their boys as well?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it didn't matter. It was a beautiful result, and I'm very happy. But
no, the weird one was at France. That like the big boy, like Dupont, Audrey, and Tamac, they could only play 3 games for France before they have to go back to their clubs. Why?
Right.
Who gives a shit?
International rugby should take top priority. It should have, contracts shouldn't be able to stop you from playing international rugby because international rugby is the peak of rugby.
Exactly. Well,
I'm glad the be all end all.
I'm glad you mentioned the word contracts because it's actually feeding into this next little story. Don't ask the CEO of New Zealand Rugby about the next coach because it's a sensitive issue.
It's a sensitive issue.
There's
a lot of sensitive issues regarding coaching at the moment.
There is a risk of losing Scott Robertson. Again,
I'm not surprised.
How the fuck? It's in his contract that if the All Blacks come calling, that's him.
What? Yeah, I don't understand why. First of all, I don't understand why he hasn't just put his name out there for other offers. Because you've got teams like Wales, like England, pleading for a new coach.
Yeah.
The WRU and the RFU, both of them, we know for a fact they're going to be looking for replacements for both Pivac and Jones.
That's so daft. So
even I could see him being snapped up by a big club side in the top 14 or something. I don't see why NZRU haven't just given him the job.
Yes.
I mean, we said it. I think we said it last week. He's won 13 Super Rugby titles as a player and as head coach with the Crusaders.
I just want to check quickly because I want to get this accurate because it is an insane.
It has to be a record breaker or something, but he is a rare case of a coach who produces such consistent results. I don't see how he hasn't been offered the international job for the All Blacks, or how he hasn't been snapped up with a contract from another nation. Because I was talking to people from work about the Wales situation. Obviously, Pivac's pretty much going. There was news out that WRU had sent a team out to scout in France for training locations and hotel locations for the World Cup next year. Pivac was not amongst them, and the head coach is usually always amongst that team. Pivac wasn't. So, and also, just the speculation, the hint is we could pretty safely say he's probably going to be sacked.
It is safe to say that. Sorry, just going back to the Scott Robertson thing. The man has 11 Super Rugby titles.
Mad.
As player and coach combined.
Player and coach.
Super Rugby titles. What the fuck? But
how many out of interest, how many is a coach? Does it tell you there how many is a coach?
You just do the math. So Are you counting Super Rugby Aotearoa or not?
Yeah, I'm just counting all Super Rugby victories.
1, 3, 6.
6 as a coach. 6.
Wait a minute. Actually, sorry. I'm just checking when he retired because I want to make sure this is right. Retired stopped playing in 2003. So it might not be 6. Sorry, I counted every 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is a player.
4 is a player. So what's that? 7 then? As a coach.
No, I don't think it was 11. I think I miscounted. I think I included the ones in 2008 and 2000, like the mid 2000s when he wasn't playing. That's my mistake.
Okay, so it's 10
actually,
then.
it's 10. He's only dropped. No, it's 8. It's 8 titles because they won 3 when he wasn't playing and he wasn't coaching yet.
Regardless to say, he's won a lot of trophies.
Yeah. 20s took over, stopped playing for the Crusaders in 2003. And at that point, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 Super Rugby titles. Started coaching them in 2017. And since 2017, has won every single one of them. Apart from the 2021 one where the Blues won.
Where the Blues won, that was, yeah. But
Yeah,
that wasn't, that was like a bit of a...
Has won every official Super Rugby.
Every official Super Rugby he's won.
And has won the Aotearoa and not won the Trans-Tasman, I think it was.
Trans-Tasman.
Trans-Tasman, and then lost in the final. Yeah, so he's always there or thereabouts.
Wasn't it the Trans-Tasman? Was that when they lost to the Waratahs?
Oh, see what I mean? You're hurting my head now.
Anyway, we're going off track. How much more of a CV do you need?
I don't know.
Because what more credentials do you want? He produces the results. We're like we're the Scott Robertson fangirl group here. We're his groupies.
I'm gonna get him on the show just to be like, right, here's a list of countries, pick one.
And honestly, I just want to see what he's capable with an international team. And I'm not talking like, I want to see what he's capable with the likes of England, with the likes of Wales, with the likes of the All Blacks. I want to see what he can do. He's done all he can with the Crusaders. Give him the bigger job. Give him the top job. NZRU. Make him the All Blacks coach. That's all I have to say.
Make him a head coach. Doesn't even have to be for the All Blacks anymore. There's a weird thing that I've read, because we were kind of talking about Welsh as well, quickly.
Yeah.
That it seems likely that Gats is going to take charge, and it's a stupid mistake.
Very stupid mistake.
But have you heard what Sam Warburton said?
What's he said?
He thinks Warren Gatland's the perfect man for the England job.
That would be interesting.
Perfect man to replace Eddie Jones, Warren Gatland.
I don't hate that.
I don't get it. Imagine.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, the coach that picked me as captain that helped us win so many Six Nations. Yeah, he'd be great for the other team.
But I think he would. I mean, we're not like, it's not like, changing your allegiances is uncommon. I mean, Matt Proudfoot, the Springboks forwards coach, who won us the World Cup with that dominant set piece and scrum that he has instilled into our boys, after the World Cup, signed a contract to go over to England.
After just beating them.
So after beating them, he probably walked into that England camp like, all right, boys, let me tell you.
And it's gone worse.
Yeah.
It's got worse.
Anyway, they
just quickly, just without any debate or anything, just chuck out who's your next England head coach. Who are you picking?
Now you've said it. I want to see Warren Gatland.
Jesus.
It's not going to be.
Okay.
Okay, if I could pick any, it's going to be Scott Robinson.
Well, you already picked Gatlin, you buggered it.
Fine, I'll pick Gatlin then.
I'm not picking Robertson. I think it's in like the stars are aligned. It's going to be Steve Borthwick or Alex Sanderson.
Steve Borthwick.
Steve Borthwick.
It's rumoured that he is taking the top job.
It's weird. I got told that RFU would have to pay out £800,000 if Eddie Jones was to go now before the World Cup, because obviously the remainder of his contract, which tells you how much he's on, roughly.
He's not going anywhere till the World Cup, I'll tell you that right now. He's not. Wayne Pivac, on the other hand, he needs to go now. Eddie Jones, let him ride out his master plan till the next World Cup. And when that crashes and burns in an inevitable quarterfinal, semi-final knockout, then find someone else.
Actually, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to end the episode now. I'm all up for Eddie Jones staying because Gregor Townsend has Eddie Jones's number. So I mean, Scotland's going to beat him in the Six Nations. That'll be 5 Calcutta Cups in the last 6 years. Thank you and good night. There you go. That's all I want.
Fair enough.
I don't know what else.
I mean, we're going to end it there. We've been going for a long time. This episode has kind of dragged on, but we've had a lot to talk about. So, you know, if you've stuck around, fair play to you. But before we go, obviously, check out our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I think we have that. Go check them all out. You know, this next season, this next year, we're really going to, you know, strive towards more fan interaction. We want to get you guys more involved. Also, check out the interviews. Murray's been absolutely popping off with the interviews. We've had amazing guests on, you know, for this past season. So yeah, go check out all the interviews. Go check out our past podcasts. Jump on the Instagram. You know, jump on the TikTok. And, you know, just any support from you guys is much appreciated. But yeah, you know, till next week. Cheers.